Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another Pygame tutorial video. In this video, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be improving our game intro function. Right now it's pretty lame. You know, we've got these messages to screen, but to play you're pressing key buttons. That's kind of silly. So we're going to go ahead and change that. So I'm going to add some buttons. And the buttons will be, this game's a slightly more complex game, so in theory when we have a start menu, or a game intro so to speak, it'd be kind of nice to like, first of all, we do want to include P to pause and like Q to quit if you want to quit or whatever, but like here would be better to have like a button and say like play, and then another button here controls, and then another button here quit, like actual buttons. And with Pygame, surprisingly, there are no buttons like built into Pygame, so you kind of have to do it yourself. And at least as far as I know, I've seen some like third-party button modules and stuff, but there's nothing like official with Pygame. So we're gonna need to build our own buttons. So what I think I'll do is we'll have like green, yellow, and red, like red to quit. And we basically have all these colors, right? We've got a green, we've got red, but we don't have yellow. So the first thing we want to do is let's go ahead and define yellow. And yellow is the meshing of red and green. It's crazy, I know, but that is it. So let's do 200, 200, and then 0 for yellow. That'll make a yellow color. We'll see how that works out. But so 200, 200, and 0. And then we're going to come down to our game intro, and this is where we're going to build our buttons. So first of all, there's no button module, so how might we build buttons? Well, we have all the tools that we need to build a button. So the first tool that we might need to build a button is we need to like make a button shape, right? We have to visually make a button. Well, we can do that because we know how to make rectangles. So we can make a rectangle button. Boom. The next question is, well, then how do we know like what that button is? Well, we know how to place text, so we can place text to the button. So that's how we can define the button. And then to make it feel like a button, you know, if it's just like a little box there and you move your mouse over it and nothing really happens, you want it to be like responsive. So most buttons today are responsive in some form or fashion, or anything you can click is responsive. A link, you get the underline, sometimes a link will change color, you've got like hover color. Buttons, you've got like the buttons when it's hovered, for example. Here it like you know, kind of raises up the button a little bit, and it just gives you the feeling that it can be clicked. So we definitely want to do that. And so how can we do that? Well, we do know that the event handler knows the position of the mouse, so we know that by the position of the mouse we can make a button do something to let us know that, hey, I'm a button, you can click me. So all of that we can do. And then finally, we also know when a button is being clicked on the mouse, so we can build a whole button. So we can build a button ourselves. And it sounds complex at the beginning, but it's just like one little step at a time, and together we can make an actual button function for ourselves. So that's what we're going to be doing, or at least starting to do. It's kind of a long process, but that's what we got going on. So first of all, our buttons are going to replace this press C to play, P to pause, Q to quit line, Q to quit line. So first of all, let's just go ahead and comment that out. Now, before pygame.display to update, let's just make some space. And here's where we're going to add some of our rectangles. So we know that we're going to just add these rectangles, and they're going to be our buttons to start. So first, let's just draw the rectangles to the screen, get them kind of aligned how we want. So first we'll do pygame.draw.rect. Where do we want to draw it? Game display. What color do we want it? We're going to make this one green. This will be the play button. Comma. And then XY, we'll do 100, and it needs to be near the bottom, so 500. And then 100 pixels wide and 50 pixels tall, so it's a real rectangle, as opposed to a fake rectangle. So let's go ahead and save and run that and see where our little rectangle is. So here we have a rectangle. Okay, so that'll be like our play button. Obviously it's just a rectangle right now, but we're going to get to some pretty cool stuff. So we'll close this. Okay, and let's draw the other rectangles. So let's go ahead and just copy this and do paste. And the X location will change, the Y location will not change. So let's do 100, 300, and 500. We've got green, we defined yellow earlier, and then red. So we've got a green button, a yellow button, a red button. 100 X, 500 Y. The sizes will stay the same. This one just starts at 300, and this one starts at 500 for the X value. Let's go ahead and save and run that. Cool. So we've got our stoplight here, and so we got, yeah, that's okay yellow. It's kind of like a piss yellow, but that'll do for now. So these are our buttons, but they're a little off-center. We want to shift them just slightly over. So our center button we pretty much want centered. So, but keep in mind, this is a challenge. Keep in mind, so we've got 800 by 600. This is 800 wide. So in theory, you would say, well, the center would be, right, our center button should be 400. This should be 200, and this should be 600. That would be what you would assume. But keep in mind, this 400 is the top left location of our button. So that's not going to work out, right? Because 400, it'll be too far over to the right. So let me just show you guys really quick. See how it's like that? So really, we want the center of our center button to be 400. So how will we do that? Well, our button width is 100 pixels. So really what we could do is 150, 350, and then 550. And 350, because our button is 100 pixels, the center of it is 50 pixels over. So 350 plus 50 is 400. So that should be centered. So let's go ahead and save and run that. And boom, we've got our centered buttons. Wow, math. So let's go ahead and close this. Cool. Cancel this, close out this. And we've got our button placement. Obviously, we don't have any text on the buttons. They're not responsive, and they don't do anything when they're clicked. So we've got to change all of that. But we're off to a good start. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to be continuing on with the buttons. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned to the next video.